Hi, this is Once to Watch Chef's Choice. I'm Abby Kenna, and today I'm joined by Noah Henderson.
You.
How are you?
I'm tired.
Yeah, why?
I was up till like 2:30 last night.
Doing what?
Editing a YouTube video.
Okay. I'm learning about this YouTube lore. Like, they can't see the camera behind the camera, but you did come with a cooler camera than mine.
It's just different.
It's just different. What kind of camera is it?
Sony something.
Not sponsored?
It's white. Not sponsored yet. Yeah. I've always wanted to be one of those like Sony ambassadors.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Literally.
I feel like I see a lot of people who are, but they have like they don't even like use the technology I actually use.
And you would.
Yeah. I'm pretty techie, so I have like all these different lenses and so if you're watching this, Sony,
yeah,
hit me up.
How long has the YouTube been a thing?
Probably past like 8 months or so.
Okay, it's a decent amount of time.
Yeah. I always like loved filming stuff as a kid, like making videos and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then as music started like happening, I was like, oh, I should film these things and document them, because like, I don't know, I feel like you don't always know what like I'm doing, I guess. I don't try and like broadcast everything, but I always want to like show my grandma.
Right, yeah.
And so if I make a YouTube video about like what I did this week, I can send it to her and she'll like send it to her family in Kansas, and like they get to see what I'm doing.
That's sweet. I mean, both like for people to see like what an artist's life really looks like, but also for yourself. Mm-hmm. I feel like I forget how much I do in a week. I'm like, wow, done nothing in 6 months. And then you look at the receipts and it's like, oh, you actually haven't stopped moving. Yeah.
And I feel like you forget because you're like doing so many things and it's like one after the other. But if you make a video about it, you can watch it back and be like, oh yeah, I forgot about all those little things that were really cool.
Yeah. And it's all just like vlog style content?
Yeah. For the most part, I just like have my camera and I'm just filming. It's all handheld, and I don't like the super like gimbal, like official style. I just like it to be very casual and kind of make it feel like you're there with me. Yeah,
that's a cool thing for fans to have. I feel like it's like a part of your life that, like, it's very hard with TikTok nowadays because it's so like scripted and all of that. But this is just like, here's what I did.
I've only ever done like 3 scripted TikToks.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Good for you.
Because it feels so weird.
Yeah, don't fall into that trap. It's scary. Yeah.
There's always like the people who are like so animated and like the captions keep zooming in, or like the cuts keep zooming in.
Yeah, I always wonder how much time they spent on that 15-second video.
Yeah. I'm like, that's not probably going to be the reason that the video blows up.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I wonder.
I try and just focus on like having the video actually be interesting.
Yeah,
or like
quality.
hook you in. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Okay.
But
so you were editing this week's vlog last night.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a vlog. It was I just did a DJ set with Coca-Cola.
Yes.
And we like filmed the whole thing. And so I was like really stoked on it because the set was like awesome. And so that was so fun. That was my first time DJing, basically. Don't tell anyone at Coca-Cola, but that was my first time because they booked me, and I was like, yeah, I can DJ.
Yeah, I can DJ.
Yeah, so did the set there, and it was just so fun. And yeah, we filmed we had 5 different camera angles going on, so I was just like pulling it all together.
Wow.
And watching it over and over, and yeah, it was super fun. I'm excited. Cool. I think we're posting it tomorrow? Yeah. Wow,
quick turnaround. That's cool.
Yeah.
And all original music, or were you throwing in some were you mashing your music up with other stuff?
A little bit of both.
Okay,
cool. A lot of it was like, I call it Heartbreak House.
Ooh, okay. We have a brand.
It was kind of like a mix of like Bon Iver, Novo Amor.
Love Novo Amor.
And then my music, and then a few others kind of thrown in there.
Awesome. Sounds really chill.
It was chill, but it was also like hype, but then emotional. I cried making the last song, and that was like such a surreal like thing because I was like just in my room.
Aww.
And then yeah, when I played it at the show, it was also like I was like tearing up, and I saw like people just like.
What was the last song?
It was a remix of Peace in the Silence by Bunt.
Okay, I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's like pretty hype. But then I did like my own outro.
Okay, cool.
And I like had my vocals over, and it was just like very like healing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool.
Sounds like a lot of work, but
yeah, I turned it around in like 2 days.
Good for you.
Because my song "Bring Your Love to the Light" just came out on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like doing so much just prep work for a release up until that day. And then I was like, all right, now I have to DJ tomorrow. So
yeah, but honestly, probably like a good switch in like workflow. Like doing the rollout is such like you have to lock in, and then doing something so drastically different.
Yeah. No, it was nice because I've been just grinding on this song for probably over a month now.
Yeah.
And so getting to like switch modes, like you said, like, yeah, it's more work, but it felt so much more creative because I'm like, okay, how do I like bring people in and make it an experience for that, like, you know, 40 minutes that I'm playing. So it was like cool to be back in my creative bag, I guess.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, speaking of which, this is Chef's Choice.
Yes.
So I would love to know, if listeners had never heard your music before, what's the first song you think they should start with? The appetizer to you.
I would probably say Floorboards.
Okay.
Waste of a heart if it's not yours. Strangers again, and I'm not sure what you're left for.
Why that one?
I feel like that song showcases kind of like the heart behind my music. Maybe like both the lyrical and the instrumentation, like production elements that kind of make up my whole sonic identity or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Always evolving, but
for sure.
I feel like that song, you listen to it and you kind of understand like, oh, okay. Like that's Noah. It's, you know, it starts very intimate and just like raw and honest, and then it goes into this beautiful, you know, like soundscape, and then it cuts and then it drops and you're just like floating. And
it's core Noah, yeah.
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 Like Noah core.
What would you say are like some of your main sonic influences for your sound?
I'd say like Coldplay.
Love.
From like a feeling, like the feeling you get when you listen to Coldplay. I think just like certain like character things from like Jeremy Zucker, Chelsea Cutler.
Yeah.
I get a lot of like comparisons to them sometimes.
I feel like your writing definitely, is similar, but then you do have that like nostalgia factor of the Coldplay.
Yeah. And then like Lainey, like the way some of their, not all their songs, but like some of their songs are so simple, but it's just like, oof.
Clean, yeah.
Yeah. And then like obviously I'm a producer at heart, like first before I kind of started being the artist.
The artist.
So, yes. And so I think, you know, that I kind of came from more electronic music. So like Elenium is like a big inspo on the production side.
Okay, cool.
And like Floorboards has that drop that is just like hits and you just feel like you're floating. And that's like very Elenium.
Yeah, walk me through the creation of Floorboards. That's one of the first. It's like right in the middle there of your releases, yeah?
Yeah, it was my like third song ever. I think I have like 6 songs.
Yeah. More to come.
So, yeah.
Exciting. But you produced it and wrote it all yourself?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, that song was like a kind of a long process. My creative process is so stupid. It just takes forever.
Why?
Because I have like an idea, and then sometimes I write a song and I'm done in 2 minutes or like 20 minutes. or sometimes it takes me a year to like finish the song. And so I guess, yeah, Floorboards is a good example. I wrote the one day I was like, in my room. It was like, I don't know, September or something, of 2022.
Okay.
I guess I'll just tell you the song story.
Tell me about it. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I was like sitting in my room back in Sacramento, and I was just like feeling this like weird like weight, thinking about like, because I was like with my girlfriend at the time, and I was like, I just like, I don't know what would happen if I like lost this person, and like feeling like the weight of all those things.
Yeah.
And so I just started like making this song just in my room. It was like 2 a.m. I wrote the chorus and started piecing together like the drop in the song.
Mm-hmm.
And I like was working on it for a while, and I finally like pushed back and just like pressed play, because I like was making all the individual layers, and then I like pressed play and just closed my eyes and like listened to it, and then like the drop hit, and I just started like crying.
Oh.
And it was actually really cool, because I was like, whoa, I've never cried to a song
that you've made, or just like in general?
Ever.
Oh wow. Okay.
And obviously I think a lot of it had to do with like just what I was like going through at the time, but
for sure,
that's when I was like, oh, this song is sick, like this is gonna speak to people.
Yeah.
And so after that day, I couldn't figure out the rest of it for so long, but I knew it was like a special little thing, so I just always kept coming back to it, for like a year essentially.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I think it came out in July of 2023, end of July. But yeah, that one song just like slowly, I'd come back to it. I'd get like one line. I'm like, okay, that's locked in. I italicize it in my notes,
Right. Yeah.
And then I think when I write a song, this happened like most of my songs, honestly. I like know there's something there, and so I just keep coming back, keep being consistent, and I try not to rush it, because every time I've like been pressured to finish a song, usually it gets done and I'm like, I'm not stoked on it. Like it doesn't,
mm-hmm.
It's not through and through what I want to say. But that song, yeah, I'm just really proud of it, and I think it, fully captures the heart behind where I was in that time. And yeah, I think it's honest and it hits, and I love that the music, you could like mute the lyrics, and I feel like the music says exactly what the song says without saying anything.
That's huge. Yeah.
And yeah, I think when I realized that, when I finished that song and I kind of figured that out, I was like, oh, that's really important. Like that's special. And now that's kind of what I've gone after in the rest of my music and upcoming projects, is really being intentional with every part of the song. And obviously as artists, hopefully everybody is like doing that as well.
Well, I think there's a certain point where you like get out of your own way, and it seems like you had that emotional reaction where then it was like, oh, this is how I want it to feel for me, and I know that other people will like relate to that because I just did. Like you related to yourself in that moment, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful introduction to your music, I think.
Yeah, so Floorboards, check it out.
Floorboards is the appetizer, and then what sort of like brings us into where you are right now? Would you say it's the song? You literally just put that out a few days ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bring me to the light.
Bring your love.
Bring your love.
In parentheses. To the light.
Okay, yes. I knew that there was a parentheses somewhere in there.
Bring your love to the light, light, light. When all is lost, there's gold in the silver lining.
I historically want to have long titles.
Like Fall Out Boy.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard their music.
Okay. I figured that wasn't the influence.
Yeah, I love long titles. I don't know why. Just all my songs, I'm like the staple statement in the song. I'm like, well, it has to be that. And so the same thing happened with this song, but
yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll just do the parentheses so I don't, every time I introduce it, I can just say like, bring your love.
Bring your love or
to the light.
Yeah.
Or if I'm feeling crazy,
bring your love
to the light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also noticed you have like a period at the end of some of your titles.
Mm-hmm.
What was the intention behind that?
I think I started that with floorboards.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually like really insecure about that title for a long time.
How so?
I have back in my house that I like grew up in Sacramento, I still have on my whiteboard like the working titles of that song.
Mm-hmm.
And I had floorboards like in the corner, and me and my little brother would always just like try and figure it out. And I was like, no, it can't be floorboards. That's stupid.
Why is that stupid?
Well, at the time, it just, I don't know, it's just like a weird name.
I feel like it's a cool one because you won't know what the song's going to be about before you press play.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it fits. Do you feel like it fits now?
No, yeah.
Okay,
now
good.
I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
Okay, good. And then you added the period to a couple other titles as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the period was just like, I was like, I don't know, how do I make this a little more, like, what is this? And so the period, and then it just, I don't know, I feel like it looks cool and it's a little different. It's hard to, like, be different on, like, you know what SEO is? Like, all that stuff.
Totally.
It's like, how do you make your songs easily searchable, I guess? Granted, Floorboards is a pretty, like, no one else has a song called Floorboards. But I'm always thinking, like, how do I make it a little more unique? So I guess the period was just... And I feel like it's a statement. It's like, you know...
It's the end of something, yeah.
Period.
Totally. So why would you say that Bring Your Love to the Light is, like, the most representative thing of where you are right now?
I think it's an interesting song because... I feel like I'm very all over the place. Like, because I produce all my stuff, it's kind of just whatever I think sounds cool, I make. And so, like, before Bring Your Love to the Light, I put out like a folk song.
Yeah, I loved that one too, yeah.
Nothing Worse Than Almost Having You, period. And so I think, you know, I don't know, I was in my summer, it was like summertime, I was like, I just want to make a banger and just see what happens. And I kind of posted a little clip of the instrumental part in the, what I call the chorus, on like TikTok, and then it blew up. I was like, oh, okay.
Guess you gotta finish that now, yeah.
Finish it.
I don't think it's a bad thing to have like stylistic differences from song to song though, because like listening to your discography top to bottom, I like, you know that it's you, like your voice has a through line. But I guess it's hard when you are producing as well. Like you feel super close to all like you know how different the sounds are that you put on there, but to like us as listeners, it still sounds like you've made it.
Yeah. I think that's the thing I do hold on to, is like there is a through line. And so I kind of feel like whatever I make, it's never going to be like far off. Because, you know, like some artists put out an album and then the next one, everybody hates it because it sounds so different. Yeah,
like the Paramore effect or like Taylor Swift, yeah.
But I don't think that's will happen for me because I think, because I do produce all my stuff, so there's always going to be a certain sounds that just resonate through all my songs. But yeah, with this one, it's just like upbeat and it's like dancey, and I love that kind of music. And you know, this past year I've been more into like house music anyways. Cool. And a lot of my friends, you know, are just ripping it right now and doing such a good job. And I've been like producing for other people in that area. Like I just did a song with A-OK and
cool.
Oh, that's so yeah. This song, I was just like, all right, let's make a summer banger. It was I posted on Instagram the first time I posted it. I was like, this is my summer side quest.
Awesome.
And then it blew up, and then, a month later I put it out, and now it's like doing super well, and
amazing.
got on a bunch of like Spotify stuff, and so I'm like, all right, side quest complete.
That's great. And you said like you put the instrumental piece up first. Did you start with that, or did you start with like the lyrics and the story of the song?
Yeah, no. So I like made that little snippet and just posted it. That's kind of what I do.
Wow, yeah.
I just make songs and post them, and like I have so many songs. I probably have like almost 1,000 like demos, honestly.
Crazy.
But I'm just like, okay, that's cool. I'll just throw it up there, and then usually when one picks up, I'm like, okay, let's finish that one.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, with this one, that same thing happened, but it was literally just the instrumental. And that was like so hard because primarily there's like I post the chorus and then that blows up. I'm like, all right, that's the heart of the song. Let's build it out.
Yeah, you can work backwards to the verse from the chorus, but going from just
nothing,
context. Yeah.
I was like, okay, how do I make this song? Have that be the chorus, the instrumental part, but then make all the verses and whatever still fit what I want to say, but also fit the music, but still be danceable, but not be too deep because people are just in the club, Yeah. So it was like so hard. It was like my first time doing that, or like starting from that and then growing it. Mm-hmm. So super challenging for me. I've been like stressed the past 2 months, bro.
Well, what did you end up writing it about? Like, how did you find the story from it then?
Yeah, I think I was just like, where am I at right now? What I want to say, what I want to like speak into like other people's lives and whatnot. Mm-hmm. 'Cause I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing at this point in my music. Like I put something out and I just see it resonate all the time, and it becomes like a thing. Like my song Tired of Healing just kind of like took off a couple months ago, and like seeing all of the impact it's had on other people, I'm like, okay, the things I say and the things I put out carry weight, and so how do I steward that as best as I can? And so for this song, I usually just am like, okay, well, how am I feeling right now? That's what I write about. And yeah, this song I think was about, being so like hurt, or like your heart being just like shattered into a billion pieces, and being like, after you put it together, like tape it together, you're like scared to just be like, okay, it's available again.
Right.
And so I think for a long time I've been, like not super open to bringing my heart back into like the world, I guess. I'm just in my zone and doing my thing. But yeah, I think this song is just speaking into like, it's okay, like bring your love back into the light. Like it's okay. Like you don't want to just like be in that place forever, because that's not really what life's about. Like you gotta, just because you've been hurt once and you'll probably be hurt again doesn't mean you shouldn't like try. Like it's better to come back, learn from everything, and then just like keep experiencing life and like finding hope in things, I guess.
Right.
And so, yeah, that song was just about, just like being in a place where you're hurt, but you're like still trying, you're like still showing up for yourself, and not just going down a hole for the rest of your life.
Yeah, honestly fitting though that you wrote that, because that's like a little sad but also hopeful, like to this dancey track. So then it's like, no, you can't be sad about it. Like you have to look up a little. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and I want people to dance, so I want it to be somewhat hopeful.
Yeah.
In the Heartbreak, because like the videos I was making to promote it was like healing, or dancing can heal a broken heart.
Oh,
I like that was like a quote I was using, and so yeah, I think the song just speaks into all those things and is like hopeful but understanding, and it's like healing in a way.
Yeah. A good summer track. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What was your start in music? Like how did your production and songwriting journey sort of begin?
Yeah, I was living in Santa Barbara at the time.
Cool.
My friend had one of those plastic sheds from Home Depot.
Yeah. Yes.
In the middle of a field in Santa Barbara, and they had a studio in there. Cool. And so they were always just making like horrible music. Or not horrible music. Like horrible beats.
Yeah, I know good. The type. Yeah.
So I was just like, not all of it was horrible. Certain people I was like, okay, I could do better than this.
It was a challenge almost.
Yeah. But I was like sitting there just like watching, learning. You know, I'd played music kind of growing up. My like uncle was in a blues band, and my dad, you know, played guitar and whatever.
Oh, cool.
But I never really was like making good music. And so being in that little shed, I would just sat there. I was like, you know, throwing ideas. I'm like, oh, I should do this. And they're like, nah. And I'm like, dude, you guys are just like, all the songs are not being maximized. Like, you're not saying what it needs to say.
Right.
And so then I started, and I was like, all right, screw it. I'll just learn it myself. And so I went on like a couple-year journey of just producing, like learning on YouTube and just producing a couple songs every day. And that's all I ever did. And just like trying to collaborate with people, just like random SoundCloud artists, and you know,
that's awesome.
Like songwriting and yeah, just like YouTube University, my way into kind of making songs. And then at one point I was like, okay, I should start posting the things I make on TikTok, because I'm always making something. Mm-hmm. So I bet myself, I was like, all right, I will buy myself the new iPhone 13 Pro or whatever it was if I post like 3 times a day on TikTok. And so I bought the phone, and then yeah, for like the next 6 months, I posted 3 times a day.
Shit.
All my like just songs, whatever, trying to be consistent. 'Cause at the time, everyone's like, you got to post 3 times a day. And
I know.
I would see all my friends blow up, and I'm like, I could do that.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like you really can if you are consistent like that. And you had apparently so many demos to work off of, which is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't all great, but
some will stick. Yeah.
Yeah. But then, yeah, after that, like literally 6 months of doing that, then I posted I Think You Loved Me, which is my first song pretty much. And that blew up like overnight. And I was like, oh, well, 6 months to getting to that point.
Right.
But then I was like, oh, cool. And then that's kind of how everything started.
We're in business. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Cool. A field in the middle of, Santa Barbara. That's so random. And you said you grew up in Sacramento? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I vaguely know where that is.
Yeah, it's really hot there.
I drove through Bakersfield. Mm-hmm. It's like on the way? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, it's north of Bakersfield. It's like in between like San Francisco and Tahoe. Sacramento's like in the middle.
Yeah. I took the 5 accidentally up to Santa Cruz, and that was like the scariest experience of my life. Like my first solo road trip, driving through Bakersfield was like 110 degrees. Like my phone stopped charging.
Air conditioner stops working. Yeah.
I was like, oh, so I'm going to die here.
Yeah. No, that'll do it to you. And there's like nothing there. It's just.
No?
I mean, certain parts of I-5 is just grass.
Oh, yeah.
And cows.
Well, yes, I saw all of that. But Sacramento, isn't that the state capital?
Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. It's nothing like to brag about necessarily.
I don't know. It's
the capital's
important
cool.
to me.
Yeah. I went there once, I think, with my grandma.
Amazing. Beautiful.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy SoCal a little more.
Yeah, SoCal's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we have an EP on the horizon, and I would love to hear a little bit about that. What's in the works? We have our like dessert track ahead, but I would just love to hear what we can like look forward to for this upcoming project.
Yeah, the EP, is coming.
It's coming.
Fall, I think like October, November probably. And I'm still trying to like figure out kind of the sonic identity of it, because obviously like I have songs like Floorboards, Nothing Where Someone's Having You, like that soundscape, and then, you know, the new song, the dance one. And I'm just trying to figure out like, what do I want to say next? What do I want to, I don't know. I kind of think of my songs in terms of shows. Like if you're at my concert, like what I want you to feel at the beginning of the song, in the middle, and the chorus, and the bridge, like it's like an experience. I kind of like the roller coaster. That's why I always say Floorboards, like you should listen to that first, because it takes you so many places, but it all makes sense, and then you leave it being like, whoa, that was like a roller coaster ride. But yeah, I think with the EP, like similar thing, I want to, you know, curate and craft this like experience for somebody to listen to. And I think I'm still just figuring out what that is, because, you know, I have like the Bon Iver vibes, the Coldplay vibes, the more dance stuff, and it's like, and just, I just have so many songs, and I need to figure out which ones make the cut and which ones need to be finished, because I have a lot I have choruses, and I know they'll be on the EP, but the rest of the song isn't done.
Yeah, that's exciting.
So, yeah.
A lot to figure out, like a lot of work on you, but
always.
It's a cool place to be working towards.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like now that this dance song is done, just because I was working on it for so long, I'm excited to like get back into my creative producer bag and just be writing what I feel, instead of like being locked into just this one idea.
Totally. Yeah.
Which they both have their challenges, but
blessings and curses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for our third track, then I just would love to know like one of your favorites from your discography.
I think Nothing Worse Than Almost Having You.
Yeah.
Is so sick. It's so slept on.
You gave me forever in a couple of years. So if I let go, know that it was real.
Y'all should listen to that next. Yeah, that song is so cool. Like the production in it is just like, I wrote that song the day my first song came out, I Think You Loved Me.
Okay.
Because I was January 2023, and I was in like Palm Springs with my friend Ava and a few others doing just like a writing camp type thing.
Yeah.
And just kind of like wrote that chorus, and it just resonated with me a lot. And I knew, like I said earlier, like I know when I have something, like, because it speaks to me, but then it's like getting it to build out into what it's supposed to be. It takes forever.
Yeah.
And so that song, was like over a year in the making, and I tried so many different versions of it. There was more of like a dark pop version.
Oh, interesting.
And then I kind of just, one day I was like recording, my friend had this guitar, and it was like so detuned, and all the strings were flapping around.
Yeah.
And you could like hear the resonating, like buzzing of the strings. And so I like recorded that, and I was like, oh, it sounds so bad that it almost sounds good.
Yeah.
And that kind of that like re-inspired me to work on it. And then, the song just has a bunch of cool little like Easter egg things.
Sick.
I love gang vocals, and so I'm always like screaming or yelling. Like I'll put the mic in the middle of the room, and I just walk around like yelling the chorus, acting like a crowd.
Yeah.
And in that song, there's like there's a bridge part where there's that me like singing as a chorus, but you can hear me just going like yeah, hey, yo.
That's like the room sounds though, or what make you feel like you're a part of the song. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so that song just, I don't know, it sounds cool, like puts me in a space. And it also like means a lot to me, and you know, it's like it's kind of hard to listen to sometimes, but I think, you know, all my songs like bring me back to the moments when I wrote them, and back to what I was feeling and thinking about, and I think it is cool to be able to like transport back to, you know, those time periods of when the songs were created, and get to kind of, it's almost like a little trophy in a way of like, this is where I was at, and now I can listen to it because of where I've come, like how far I've come, and almost like a matured feelings, and being like, oh, I'm so proud of myself for like making that, being there, and then now being here.
Yeah, it's a sign of the times for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool how much your like producer instincts affect the way the song is written too. I think that song is a good example of that, especially now knowing about that weird guitar. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
No, it is cool. I think that's one of the things I'm really excited about, or like proud of myself for.
You can say it with your chest.
Proud of myself.
Yes.
For like being able to truly capture what I like want to say. I guess myself, because I have a lot of, like, I produce for a lot of other artists, and you know, a lot of them struggle with being able to have their song say what they want to say without the lyrics, and like have it really fit what they're going after. And you know, I definitely feel like very fortunate to have taken the time to like really hone in on those, I guess, production skills, and like being able to tell my story exactly how I want to, and not have to like wait on someone else or rely on someone. And then also on the flip side, like being able to produce for other people and write for other people, and like knowing that, like seeing the potential in a song or an idea or in someone, and like being able to pull it out of them, and like
it's a skill, truly. Yeah.
Like when someone's like, okay, I want this song to sound like this, I can like pretty much do that. Like I can like pull it out of them, and even like, I don't know, I just feel like I see potential in ideas in my own and in other people's, and I don't necessarily see that all the time in like other producers.
I think it is a very particular, talent even. Like a lot of people will sort of just write in like their own style that they've cultivated, which is cool and awesome. But to be able to like deliver what another artist is trying to say and hasn't been able to figure out yet is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like cool to like just be not the front and center. Cause I feel like I have such a hard time with that. Like music's not really about me, but it kind of has to be because it's mine, and I have to promote it and do all the things. But it is fun to like be able to, just take like a back seat, but still, you know, be a part of the process of making a song that means something, and you know, speaks to people, and then achieves what that artist is like going after. It's like a little, those are the moments where I'm like, oh yes, almost
it's
like
worth it. Yeah. Oh, well, I have 3 final questions for you now that we've gone through our 3 tracks.
Yes.
I would love to know, if your music was a candle, what it would smell like. Very serious question.
I think it'd be like a bitter vanilla.
A musky vanilla, yeah.
I don't know about musky, but
what do you mean by bitter?
Like,
give me notes.
Like it's sweet, but like nostalgic, or like I don't know where it would bring you back to, but
it's different like, for each listener.
Yeah, there's like a sweetness, but like a nostalgic smell to it that is like comforting. But it's like encouraging. I don't know.
No, I like it. I see it. Yeah.
A musky vanilla candle. Okay.
A bitter vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would also love to know what your favorite sound is right now that is not music related.
Rain.
Awesome. We get so much of that here.
I know.
Sad.
It's so hot. It's like 90 degrees today.
No, everyone keeps telling me. I'm scared.
I love the rain.
I know, me too.
I actually don't like living in California because
same.
I'm such a moody, like I want to be in the rainy, cloudy, cold, hoodie weather.
Yeah, Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I literally my song Nothing Worse Than Almost Having You, there is rain in that song, by the way. But I like flew to Oregon to finish it because I was like, I can't finish it in my sunny little room.
Wow.
In California. So I flew there for a week to finish it, and it was like perfect.
Oh,
I think
really
that's why
setting the vibe. Yeah.
I think that's why it sounds like you're driving through the forest or something and it's raining.
I love that.
So yeah.
Well, my very final question for you is who are your ones to watch? Who are you listening to that I should be listening to?
My dear friend Callie Rose.
Okay.
Is an incredible artist, songwriter. I work with her a lot, and she just fully produced her first song recently, and I helped mix it.
Amazing.
So she's she's just crushing, and yeah, I think she's one to watch.
Cool. I'm definitely gonna have to listen to the song. That's exciting.
Yeah, and I produced one of her other ones too, so go check it out.
Oh,
give me some royalties, you know?
Yeah. I'll give you your 0.00 cents.
Yeah, I think it's less than that.
Yeah, it's like 0.07 or something like that these days.
Yeah.
Good times.
I don't know, man.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so stoked for the EP when it is figured out and settled in.
Yes.
It's going to be good.
I'll keep you posted.
Please do.
When I know, it'll probably be like the week before it comes out, but
beautiful.
I'll let you know.
Amazing. Well, once again, this is Ones to Watch Chef's Choice. I'm Abby Kenna, and this is Noah Henderson. Check him out.
Floorboards.
Floorboards. Yay.